What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Greetings from Podcastville. It's Monday, August the 9th. From the heart of New Jersey, The Joint is brought to you by DraftKings. Listen, everyone's favorite time of the year is right around the fucking corner. Football season and college football season. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is here to celebrate. We're jumping up and down. DraftKings is putting new players on the first yard line with 200 in free bets instantly. Just bet $1 on any college football game. Take advantage of this limited time offer now. DraftKings is giving all new players 200 in free bets instantly when you place $1 bet on any college football game. $200 in free bets is yours no matter what happens during the game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, right now, Monday. Use promo code Joey and receive 200 in free bets when you place a bet on any college football game. That's promo code Joey to get you 200 in free bets instantly for a limited time only. I hope you guys went to DraftKings last week for Lewis Gaines and got $100 on $1 bet. I know a lot of you did, so hopefully you'll jump in on this college football fucking deal right now. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers only. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you got a gambling problem, you got to call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you're in Indiana, you got to call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you're straight, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and win some motherfucking Geetus. The winter's coming and you want to be prepared. DraftKings.com Sportsbook app, not the fantasy app, the Sportsbook app. Enter code Joey and turn $1 into 200. The Joint is also brought to you by Better Help. You're like, Joey, what's Better Help? Better Help is who I use for therapy. Better Help is therapy for the 21st century. This is not a crisis hotline. This is not a self-help. Better Help is a professional therapy all online. You schedule your weekly video or phone sessions at your convenience. You don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room or lie on a fucking couch. They'll access all your needs, match you with a licensed therapist who is right for you. And finding a good match is important. It's their number one priority. And if you ask me, it's the most important part of therapy. You need someone you feel like you could talk to. So do me a favor right now. Go to BetterHelp. They have an offer for Uncle Joey's Joint listeners. Visit BetterHelp.com/Diaz for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/Diaz for 10% off your first month. BetterHelp, BETTER, help, HELP.com/Diaz for 10% off your first month. Get BetterHelp and start living a happier life today. As you guys notice, it's working for your Uncle Joey. And also, I want to thank you guys that have gone over to the ice cream shop to get some fucking laughing gas. Tremendous. I smoked it one of the nights this week. I fucking was drooling from everywhere. My nose was even dripping. But anyway, go to Laughing Gas in Studio City and get your batch of motherfucking laughing gas. Here you go, cocksuckers. The Joint is coming at you on a Monday morning. Tip top motherfucking Magoo.
Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday. Welcome to the joint. It's Monday, August the 9th. My fucking cousin's birthday. I gotta give him a call. I never talked to my cousin. I only talked to him on his fucking birthday. I call him. He lives in Miami. We grew up together. I don't know what's his problem. He doesn't say much, but he doesn't say shit. I don't hear from him all fucking year. And today I call him and he picks up on the second ring. How you doing? It's been a great weekend. Everything was beautiful. I'm feeling a lot better. You could tell. I got a little bit more fucking nip to my bite. The only thing that's left is my fucking rash. All of a sudden, my rash. I've had this rash for 10 fucking years. A little spot. And all of a sudden, it blew up under my armpit. It must be the fucking heat. I went to the doctor. We went over my blood test. There's nothing wrong with me. I got the fucking Mickey Mantle gene like Bert Kreischer. It don't look like I'm going to die. It was just... It's just a fucking, between the knee, the fucking gums. I got to go back to the dentist today. We're getting older, but we're getting wiser and we're getting stronger. I saw this weekend that Rogan was getting shit on Twitter because of something he said on the podcast last week. Yeah, and I got to tell you the truth. I agree with the guy, what he's saying. Listen, I only got vaccinated because, one, it was one shot. I just wanted to do it because I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that they were going to start playing that you got to get vaccinated scene. I'm not like Jennifer Aniston. I didn't stop talking to friends who didn't, what the fuck is that? I stopped talking to certain people because they didn't get vaccinated. No. In fact, the guy I hang out with the toughest hasn't gotten vaccinated because he got COVID already. And he won't get vaccinated. But now, listen, he works in New York City. So now he's in a fucking dilemma. What do you fucking do? That's the reason I got vaccinated. I'm usually an anti-vax. I don't get the flu shot. I don't like fucking needles. But I had a funny feeling. I knew where this was going to go. And like I said, I didn't do the fucking whole process. I just did the one Johnson & Johnson. I got to be honest with you. I don't even know what was in that fucking thing. Because I got a headache for 2 days. I didn't get no sniffles. I didn't get no diarrhea. I didn't fart. I didn't get sick. I didn't cough. I didn't get a temperature. So between you and I don't even know what the fuck was in there. If you guys think I believe the fucking hype, I don't. I believe this hype, though. This hype, what do you do now? You can't perform in New York. All comics are mad. And listen, I agree with them. This is something that we've never fucking experienced before, but welcome to the new fucking world. You wanted it, you got it, bitch. You guys wanted the zombie apocalypse and the Walking Dead? Well, here we have it. Fucking, you got the Walking fucking Dead. And I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just minding my fucking business. That's, Rogan said something in that little speech that I've been saying for a year. And I didn't just say it, I did something. Rogan said that throughout this pandemic, they've been pushing all this shit on you, but nobody said to you to get healthy. Nobody said to get in shape. Nobody told you to look at your life and see what you were doing wrong and what things you could change in your life. Nobody told you that. Nobody figured that out. I figured it out. I ended up losing 40 fucking pounds. I ended up switching my fucking reefer schedule around. I slowed down on the fucking drugs. I slowed down on the fucking edibles. I sleep better. I drink water all fucking day. I walk a minimum of 4 fucking points on Weight Watchers a day on top of my workout. I looked at things to make me stronger and to make me healthier at this fucking age. I'm at that age where, the reason why I didn't smoke pot all those months because I didn't want to fucking get sick. That's one of the prerequisites is smoking. It'll fuck with your fucking COVID and everything else. So I didn't. Now I'm smoking again. I'm happy. Everything's fucking tip-top magoo, and I'm ready to fucking move on. I don't have anything on my agenda. I'm going to go away at the end of the month or maybe the beginning of September to fucking shoot a TV show. I just negotiated everything. Everything is tip-top magoo and we're ready to go. But besides that, I'm minding my fucking business. I ain't doing dick. People were like, you walked out of Guns N' Roses. I didn't go to Guns N' Roses. The reason why I didn't go was because there was 60,000 people breathing, jumping up and down, and I could go see them in September with 17,000 people. And who knows? Who knows what my fate is? But me, I like to play the fucking percentages. I'm a man of many fucking percentages. You understand me? Remember, 5 points becomes something after a fucking year or two. So don't ever give up on fucking percentages. What I want to talk to you cocksuckers about this week is what happened to me this week. I had an interesting fucking week. For starters, Tuesday was the 42nd anniversary, death anniversary of one of my best friends of all time. I woke up August 3rd and I knew something was off. And I'm like, I wonder what the fuck is, I know that, because I always have a date for everything. You guys know I have a date for everything. August 3rd was the day that my friend Dominic Special drowned. August 4th was 40-something years since I saw Ted Nugent and Bon Scott at the Garden. They even talked about it on Ozzy's Boneyard on Wednesday. I'm like, holy shit, I was there. So every date has something. August 9th is my cousin's birthday. Every date has a certain fucking meaning to me. So Tuesday was Dominic's death anniversary. He died in 80, so it was really 41 years. It's been 42 years since I taught Ted and fucking Bon Scott at the Garden. That was a complete different story. And then I saw him August 1st, AC/DC, with Brian Johnson at the Palladium with Def Leppard. So, listen, I'm a man of many fucking dates. I'm a man of many dates. I'm a man of many percentages. I'm a man of many fucking whatevers. A lot of mistakes, but Tuesday was the anniversary. I remembered. I called her brother, her sister, his sister, and I said I was thinking about Dominic. We spoke for a couple minutes. And then Wednesday, I got a call from a girl that was here Sunday. She came down to visit me Sunday. I had some company on Sunday, and she was one of the people that came over. Her name was Lisa. We went to grammar school together. And she was going to see another friend of mine from grammar school, and she stopped over here first. I gave her a little bud. We talked some shit. She brought her dog. We had a great time. But she said to me that Wednesday she called out of the blue and said that our friend Louie called me and called her and wanted to get my number and talk to me. Louis is a kid that moved to North Bergen when I got left back in the 7th grade. That first year when I got left back, he moved to North Bergen. We became tight, and we were friends throughout high school, and then we all went our different ways, and I saw him again in 93 when I was delivering sandwiches for Hashway on Kennedy Boulevard, and he pulled over and we spoke a little bit, and I was just trying to keep it together, and we spoke, but we haven't spoken since August or September of 93. When Lisa called me Wednesday, she didn't call me just for the Louis thing. She called me to tell me that one of the guys I grew up with, that's my age, he's a lot older than me, but I used to do little side jobs for him. He used to get me inside jobs, if you know what I mean, to look at the safe and to look at the security in a warehouse. So he would get me a job there for 2 weeks. He knew people. It was always an inside job. And I'd tell him exactly where the doors were, where the cameras were, whatever. I would just break the place down for him. But I was dear friends with him. I was a lot younger than he was. And she called me to say that her daughter had died. She's 38 years old. She died of fucking pneumonia, COVID, and a cardiac arrest, And I hadn't seen her in 30 years. If you want me to lie to you, no. I saw her when she was a little girl with him, with the dad. And, it's not like I was tight with her or anything, but she knew how much I cared about the dad. So she was telling me that, when we hung up the phone, I was like, fucking life is crazy, 38-year-old girl, she just got fucking married. She went to some fucking parade, caught COVID, and the rest was fucking history. But Thursday morning, I didn't even really think about it. I just said a prayer for, that's all you could do when somebody fucking punches the ticket, is say a prayer for them and move the fuck on. I mean, what can you do? I'm used to it. But then the next day, I went to pick Mercy up at camp. We got home, and I went out in the balcony for a while, and the phone rang, and it was Louis. Lisa had given Louis my number, Louis. He's not Louis no more. He's fucking 58 years old. And he called, and it was a great conversation. Like I told you guys a couple months ago that so far, all the people I've connected with, the people that I've really hit home with, are the people that I went to grammar school with. For some reason or another, there's like 7 of them. And we're tighter than fuck, and we talk, all the time. And now people are starting, more people, because they found out that, me and Ralph Carey talk, me and Dave Ruiz talk, me and Lucio talk, we all talk, Chucky McBreen. So all of us went to McKinley. We've all been tight. since the 7th grade. Why the 7th grade? Because Uncle Joey was a fucking moron and got left back in the 7th grade. And it was weird because when I first went to McKinley, I signed up for the 6th grade. I got thrown out of fucking Sacred Heart for attacking Sister Hyacinth, and then my mother made me go to public school. Yeah, it's behind me here, Sister Hyacinth. And then my mother made me go to public school. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to go to school in New York, Union City, and I finally decided, fuck it, I don't want no drama. I don't want to have to drive in the morning. I'll just go to fucking school in North Bergen. No big fucking deal. So I went to McKinley, and I got to tell you something. I had a great time. In the 6th grade, I had a great time. I had Mr. Levito as a teacher. He used to tell me that if I wanted to talk during class, that if I didn't talk, he would let me go up in the front of the classroom on Friday afternoons and sing. So I would wear like a nice shirt and sing like Frankie Valli songs, fucking Sherry and My Eyes Adored You. Don't repeat that to nobody. It's between us. I was a little geeky of a fuck. I thought I was a crooner. I would sing in close to the girls and they would tell me to go away and shit. It was, whatever the fuck I was doing wasn't working. So the 7th grade at McKinley, the first time I did it, I got left back because I fell in love with a girl and we were dry humping, you know the fucking deal. And I got all retarded and shit. And I went to summer school and I played hooky from summer school and I failed summer school, so I got left back. But before I got left back, I got to be honest with you guys. The kids I was running with that were, I think they were a little older than I was. Half of them were like 6 months because my birthday's in February. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But a lot of them were older than me. A lot of the kids were a little wilder than me. I didn't really fit with that group of kids. And I still remember going from the 6th to the 7th grade thinking to myself, I don't really fit with these kids. Like, I liked North Bergen then, but it wasn't my fucking favorite. And then I met Anthony Balzano. To be honest with you, I was Jimmy Balzano's age. Anthony was a year younger than me. But Anthony hung out with Dominic and hung out with just so many fucking cool kids. Sabatino, they all hung out together. I used to hang out with like Al and all these older kids, and it wasn't just getting anywhere. It was more of a motorcycle relationship. We all had motorcycles. Once I fell off the motorcycle and got the concussion and stopped riding motorcycles, we kind of lost who the fuck we were, Even John Bender, all those guys, they were a year older than me. I got along with them, but my heart was really with Anthony and those younger guys. So when I got left back, it was like a sign from God. I was upset that I got left back. I felt like a fucking moron. To get left back, you have to be a fucking moron. So there was nothing I could do. I thought Carmine was going to be able to fix it for me at the Board of Ed, but that wasn't going to happen. You can't fucking fuck around with school records. So I took the 7th grade like a man. I shut my mouth. And that was the first time I said, I have to rehaul my life. And in the 7th grade was where I was smart enough to go, you know what? I got to stop doing what I'm doing. I got to pay attention to my grades, and I got to rehaul my life. And I remember I dove into karate, and I dove into fucking basketball. I didn't care about girls anymore. I didn't care about sucking tits behind the church. All I wanted to do was whack off and be left the fuck alone. I got heartbroken in the 7th grade. I ended up getting left back over it. Fuck it. I'm not doing this ever fucking again. I'll be a monk. I don't give a fuck. In the 7th grade, when I got left back, I was never going to get laid again if it meant being hurt. I was never going to suck titties again. I was never going to date a girl again. I wasn't going to switch governments. I wasn't going to be gay, but I wasn't going to fuck around with girls until I got my life together. And that's exactly what I did. But in the meantime, I was going to karate and I was playing basketball. And I really, my first year in the 7th grade, I was allowed to play basketball, and we went 0-7 or some shit. And I just couldn't live with that. I was like, that's it. These guys are graduating, they're moving on. It's basically our fucking team. So when I got in the 7th grade, our 8th grade basketball team was basically us. There was a couple of 8th graders, but not really. It was basically us. And 2 kids moved to the neighborhood. One Puerto Rican kid, his name was Raul. He moved right across the street from me. And while he was moving, you know how you usually move, you put stuff in and you go get more stuff? While they were moving, me and my pack of buddies, Dominic, rest his soul, his brother Mike, Sabs, a bunch of us, broke into Raul's house, and I stole his fucking stereo with his speakers. I gave the speakers to Dominic. I kept the stereo. The stereo was a cassette, 8-track, turntable combo. Not cool in those days, but you had to settle for those because somebody cool would come over and go, yeah, you got a cool stereo, but if the 8-track breaks, then your whole system's fucked up. So you have to get like a Fisher component and then get a cassette deck and get a turntable all separate and get a receiver. You know, that's what the fucking professionals want to do. I didn't listen to them. I did it my fucking way. I got tremendous fucking speakers that somebody stole off a train and sold them to me brand new. And I hooked it up with the fucking turntable I stole from Raul. But guess what? Raul was a tremendous basketball player, and we became friends. So Raul would come over to my house, but I wouldn't let him up to my bedroom. We would have to go into the basement. So Raul would always say to me, how come I never go to your bedroom to listen to albums? I go, my bedroom's fucking dirty. Nobody's allowed in there. For fucking a year, Raul lived across the street. He came over to my house every fucking day, and I never let him up in the bedroom. All my other friends would go out and go, oh, we were at Coco's house. We listened to fucking albums all night and shit. And he'd go, how come you never invite me? I'm like, because you're never around. That was a lie. He lived right across the street from me. He was always fucking around. But the neighborhood was hot. Raul finally left there like in the 8th grade, but Raul was a good basketball player. And we got another addition to the team, and his name was Louis. Louis had moved from Houston Street in the Village, and he came to McKinley. Why, I don't know. He moved to North Bergen. He lived on the 26th Street side. His family had just had a loss, and he was a great basketball player. He could fucking jump. He was a Dominican kid with a little afro, and I remember we used to smoke pot. Like, our whole relationship with these kids, Dominic, Anthony, Louis, Dave, Chucky, except for Chucky. Chucky never smoked pot. But the worst thing we did as kids was we'd get high up in the woods, and then we'd take Louis and we'd blow pot smoke into his afro. And it would be dark out. And if the moon was out, you would look at the moon, and all of a sudden you would see the smoke come out of Louis' afro. We thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. Every time we got high with Louis, that's what we'd do. And when he'd get high, he'd always look at me and go, did anybody tell you you look like a mule? Because I had a really long face when I was fucking 12 or 13. So he used to call me the mule. Every time he'd see me, he'd go, mule, mule, mule. So the other day when I talked to him, I go, you still call me the mule? And he goes, you remember that? I go, fuck, I never forgot. I used to look at myself in the mirror every day when I was 12 and go, I don't look like a mule. I look like a monkey. So fucking, Louis was a great kid, you know, and he made a great addition to the basketball team. And I think our 7th grade, we went like 3-4. We didn't have a winning season, but it was a lot better than being 0-7. And we became tight. All of us became so fucking tight. It was pathetic. McKinley rocked too. We had a fucking rocking little class. It was Louis, Lisa Messina, Orlando Salcedo. We were fucking hell on teachers, hell. I remember a 7th grade teacher quit, and we had substitutes for like a month, and all of them wouldn't come back. We would fucking put them through hell. And when we got to the 8th grade, we were fired the fuck up. Fired the fuck up. In fact, our first day in the 8th grade was the last day of 7th grade. And I remember the teacher said, before you guys even get settled, I want to talk to you. She's like, listen, you guys have a reputation for being fucking savages. That shit ends now, today. I want you guys to go home for the summer and know that what you guys been doing in the school is not going to be accepted next year. I am going to start suspending people, the whole fucking thing. And she was dead set against it. Let me tell you something. We broke that fucking lady. We broke her like in February. We were so fucking tight. We used to go to ShopRite at lunchtime, steal Hubba Bubba. All of us would put a 10-pack of Hubba Bubba down our fucking pants. And then we'd go to class, chew the Hubba Bubba, and whip it at each other in the afternoons until somebody fucking got hurt. I mean, 6, 7 pieces in your mouth. at one time. We would make huge spitballs. Our spitballs were so big we couldn't even use a straw. We would just whip them. I'd put like 8 pieces of fucking paper in my mouth, drink a little fucking water from the cancer faucet, and I'd put that fucking ball together, and that whole dog, she would be up on the blackboard, and fucking paper would just be on the top of the blackboard. You would see like 6 feet of fucking of wall, and it would just be covered with huge spitballs, and you'd see the drip of the saliva going down. It was fucking disgusting. But we were professionals. Orlando Salcedo, Dave Colombo, Bishop. I mean, we had an Italian immigrant kid, Michael Allegretta. We used to whip him with the fucking hockey sticks, and he'd go, ay, 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 ay. He couldn't speak English. I mean, were fucking savages. But in turn, it made us tighter as fuck. We were tight as fuck. No coke, no acid, no booze, no nothing. We were just pot smokers once a week on Saturday nights. We were athletes first and pot smokers fucking second. And that neighborhood was packed with kids. When I tell you that my childhood before my mother died was fucking tremendous. I even talked to Lisa about it after Louis called me. I was like, how many fucking kids were in that neighborhood? We had 5 kids per every 7 houses. We counted them the other day. We had 7 to 8 kids on each block. So you have Liberty Avenue, Charles Court, Gibbonette Terrace, 38th Street, and 39th Street. That's fucking 35 of us that were tight from the fucking 8th grade. That's the number. I mean, we would go out and like a fucking 16, 17 of us. We'd walk up the hill to Union City, and there'd be 16 coming at you, and we'd have a stack of girls walking behind us because we watched those girls. And those days, nobody was into fucking or sucking. We watched those girls like they were our little fucking sister. When I moved back to Jersey last August 19th, after about 6 days, we were bored. We were in Middletown, wherever the fuck we were staying, at corporate housing, and I said to my wife, do you want to take a ride to North Bergen? And she goes, absolutely. I go, we'll go eat, say hello to some people, and take a ride. And that's exactly what we did. And Route 3 to come south is my old neighborhood. You know, you have to go down Liberty Avenue, and you catch the 3 East or 3 West, and that hooks you into the Turnpike, which hooks you into the Parkway. And I'll never forget, I took my wife there in 2016. We took Mercy to the same park I used to play at, 38th Street Park. And then we went to the cemetery. This time, I attacked it from the Chinese store on the top of 37th Street all the way down, took them by the park, took them the long way through 39th Street, 38th Street, showed them where I lived with the Benders, Jackie Garcia's house, Kathy Moran's house, just showed them all these places. Went on 38th Street, showed them Carmine Balzano's house, which they had already seen. I took them through Charles Court and pointed out the houses, and then I took them on Gibbonette Terrace, which they had seen before. And my wife looked over at me and she goes, I got to be as honest as I can with you. This fucking neighborhood is dead. And I told her, I said, Terry, after Dominic Speciale died in the summer of 80, August 3rd, 1980, it sucked the energy out of this. This neighborhood was done. It was done after that. We all went our separate ways, and the neighborhood stayed there to fucking rot. There's not a kid on the street. I've driven by there at 4 o'clock. There's not a soul on that fucking park on 38th Street. Let me tell you something. We were on 37th Street. 37th Street Park. 37th Street Park, there would be, when I was growing up, there would be 40 kids on that fucking court. There would be 20 kids on that park. And the park even came with a MILF. Faye, the chick that I wanted to attack and fucking suck her titties and shit. I still go visit her in Jackson. She's like 70 now, 80. Faye was the MILF on the block with the 2 French fucking poodles. The park was complete. That neighborhood was a fucking great neighborhood to be a kid. It's basically like the neighborhood I live in now for kids. Everybody had pool. There was 1,000 things to do. If you wanted to break a window, you could break a window. If you wanted to steal down the trains, you could steal down the trains. If you wanted to torture the Chinese guy at the fucking Spic store, you could torture him. If you wanted to torture the guys that owned the Spic store on Liberty Avenue, you could torture them. I mean, the fucking The neighborhood was a kid's paradise. Everybody, you could knock on people's door. Everybody would say, you want water, drink it from the fucking faucet, from the hose outside. Carmine Balzano had a built-in pool. You could always go over there and eat. It was just a paradise. But all that ended. I tried to explain it to my wife, and she was like, I can't comprehend what you're saying because I never saw what it was. When Louis called me Thursday night, we were talking, and he was like, it was great to see you. I saw you in the longest yard, blah, blah. You know, we got that out of the way. And he dropped it on me. He goes, you know, I think about our situation all the time. He lives in Rutherford, New Jersey, and he said he was walking down the street, and he saw a guy that resembled me, and he thought about me, and he thought about my mother. And that's why he goes, it was time to call you. When Lisa said that she was communicating with you, I told Lisa that I want to talk to you, but after seeing that and getting that memory, and he said, he goes, when I see you in a movie or whatever, I think of your mom, and I think of my brother, because the reason why he left the village was because his brother died. So the family wanted to get out of that house where they lived, the apartment where they lived, and they moved to North Bergen. So when he came to North Bergen, he was at my house all the time. I mean, I had a basketball court. I had the above-ground pool. You know, I loved kids coming over the fucking house. Not a lot of them, but the main ones. I liked Chucky coming over. I liked David Ruiz. Lucio would come over. Lucio was the fucking commissioner in Union City, and he had like a little bit of a big chin at the time. And I'll never forget one time we were bench pressing in my backyard, and he wasn't that strong, and he went to grab the weights, and the weights just came right down on his fucking chin. Till this day, his chin goes out a little bit, and we used to call him the Chin after that. But all of us were that fucking tight. So when I talked to Louis on the phone, the first thing he said, you know, after we went through the bullshit of, you know, after you don't talk to somebody for 9 years or whatever, it's been about 20 fucking years since we spoke, he said to me, he goes, you know, man, I don't want to bring it up, but he goes, do you still think about your mom? And I'm like, all the fucking time. He goes, do you still think about Anthony Balzano? I go, all the fucking time, you know. He goes, do you still think about Dominic? I go, how funny is it that it was his anniversary 2 days ago? And he goes, that's crazy because I've been thinking about you guys since like Monday. We spoke Thursday. And we spoke for like 40 minutes. It was a great conversation. I cried. I don't know if he cried. You know, I didn't make it obvious that I was crying. I just felt the tears roaming down my face. Before we move on, I want to talk to you guys about something. I told you in the beginning of the show, we got a new sponsor, Better Help. Better Help is who I've been working with. When I was looking for a therapist, a psychiatrist, whatever, I called a friend of mine, and we were just talking. I go, I got to find a therapist or something. And she goes, no. Go online and go to betterhelp.com, sign up. It's a monthly service. They help you pick a therapist, and it's great. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I had never seen a therapist or a psychiatrist one-on-one. I didn't know what the fuck to expect. But I'll tell you what, I was blown the fuck away. Against my better judgment, Better Help. Listen, what's standing in the way of you achieving your goals? Figure it out with Better Help. Like I said, I've been with Better Help since May. So May, June, July, and now August I paid again. They're a great system, okay? It's therapists. Better Help is therapy for the 21st century. It ain't a crisis line. This ain't a 1-800 line. This is not self-help. Better Help is professional therapy online, okay? You could do this. It's all remote. It's flexible. You could schedule your own things. You could message your therapist during the week if there's a problem. And it's affordable. That's why I like it the most. I wasn't going to pay. You know, they're telling you that all the therapists and psychiatrists and everybody's book solid, all the good ones. Yeah, they are. But BetterHelp offered me a girl named Dana, a woman named Dana, who's worked with me from day one. And I got to be honest with you, she's great. This new Joey Diaz you see is from her little talks from me. It took me a couple weeks to get loose, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not going to lie to you. I have never been familiarized with therapy before. But this works. It's inexpensive, it's cheap, and they do a phenomenal job. You book the you book the job right on the computer. You book the therapist right on the computer. Let me read it to you so we don't have any. They assess your needs and match you with a licensed therapist who is right for you. Finding a good match is their number one priority. And if you ask me, the most important part of therapy is that you need someone you feel like you can talk to. Dana was that person for me. When you sign up, you can start talking to a therapist in less than 48 hours. There's no waiting around. And you can send messages to your therapist anytime. They'll get back to you in between sessions. If you want to switch therapists, you can do so at any time for free. BetterHelp makes it easy. BetterHelp is 100% remote and available worldwide. Plus, BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional therapy, and financial aid is available, okay? Trust me, it helps to have someone outside your world to talk to. I didn't know that. And it's easy to schedule, affordable, and it'll take a load off your shoulders. It took a load off my shoulders. I feel a little better. I look a lot better. Over 1 million people have taken charge of their mental health with BetterHelp. And they offer a special discount for Uncle Joey's Joint, all right? I'm going to give you 10% off your first month when you press in code Diaz. So do me a favor. Visit BetterHelp.com and put in Diaz for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. Help, HELP.com/Diaz. You know how to spell better, BETTER.com/Diaz. 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/Diaz. It's that easy. Listen, there's no fucking shame or anything. I'm not ashamed of getting help. Why would I be ashamed of getting help? It's going to make me a better person, and it's going to help me achieve my goals. It's going to help me be a better dad, and I got to be honest with you, they've helped. So go to BetterHelp.com right now, use Diaz, and get 10% off your first month. You won't be fucking sorry you did it. Trust me when I'm telling you. You're going to enjoy it. They have great therapists. I have 2 other friends that are doing BetterHelp.com right now, and they always get back to me and go, my therapist is great. One of my friends has a man. One of my friends has a woman. I have a woman. She's phenomenal. We usually talk on Monday mornings at 9:30. You can schedule whatever you want. Go to BetterHelp.com right now /Joey. You will not be sorry. I'm going to get you 10% off on your first month. Back to the Louis story. So when Louis called the other day, we just talked about all the things we did as kids. He still remembered us listening to Richard Pryor. He still remembered us going to see Saturday Night Fever in Jersey City. We all went down there, and like I told you, it would be a crew of fucking 12 or 13 of us. He remembers still going down to see the Pink Panther in Jersey City. He remembered all these little things from my life. But towards the middle of the conversation, when he dropped the biggest bomb on me that he could ever drop, and I thought about my wife, he goes, you know, we had a rough childhood. That was a rough childhood because we had the world by the balls. It was funny. I was in the car Friday with Mercy. I took her to kickboxing, and I thought Studio 54 was on Sirius XM. I thought I was listening to Studio 54 because they were playing like a disco type jam, and all of a sudden they switched to this other song, "Baby Come Back." Fucking great song. A love song. Came out in the 70s, and I looked to see what was on. I go, why would they play rock music on Studio 54 radio? When I went to look, I go, oh, shit. It's 70s, 70s on 7, whatever the fuck it is. It was some 70s show. And I was like, wow, the fucking 70s had some great fucking music. The 70s had some great moments. For us, the 70s were great as kids. We all started hanging out like in 76, 75. I moved to North Bergen in 73. So, all these kids I had become friends with, like Anthony Balzano, all of them, we all came to fruition. I remember in 1976, we went on Boulevard East and we cut the fucking chain off a parking lot, and we were charging like $2 to fucking park to watch the celebration on Hudson River. I mean, we were little fucking gangsters, but we didn't give a fuck. We were hustlers. We had a good time, but the most important thing is that's where I learned to live for one another as a friend. all we needed, like I said, all you need is 3 friends. You could take over the world. Where I got that mentality from was what we were doing in the fucking 70s. We were that fucking tight. And we were having the best fucking summers. And after the 7th grade that we went 3 and 4, and then we hung out the whole fucking summer going into the 8th grade. I went to basketball camp in Jersey City. I think David Ruiz came with me. I went to Boo's basketball camp in Vineland, New Jersey. Chucky came with me, fucking Ralph. I mean, a bunch of us. We would take over. And when we went to that camp in the 8th grade, we fucked them up too. We put shampoo in one of the counselor's fucking sneakers. We stole his t-shirt. I mean, North Bergen represented anywhere we went. When I went to Joe Namath football camp, I went with Chucky McBreen. When I went to 5-Star, I went with Greg Herenda. And, I had Billy Herenda on the Church of What's Happening Now. Listen, my Jimmy runs deep with these young fucking savages. So it was funny the other day, Louis said, we were just talking, and he goes, how downtown ended was very sad. And I go, Jesus Christ. We were in the 8th grade having a blast. I mean, it was just great. The 8th grade was phenomenal because my stepdad had moved out of the house. My mother hit him with a fucking saint on the head, and he was bleeding everywhere, and he left. Thank God I pushed him out of the fucking house. It was my hand because I had to get my shit off in the 8th grade. He was cock blocking me. Not that we were getting pussy or nothing like that. I just wanted to be a fucking wild man with my friends. We were going to Jersey City. We were going into the city and watching fucking 3-card Monte games. We would smoke pot and go into the city and fucking we would try to sneak into strip clubs. Like, there'd be a guy out front and he'd go, come on in, get a drink. You know how many times we went into strip clubs and we had chicks sitting on our fucking legs when we were in the 8th grade? And they'd go, all right, well, you're going to buy me a bottle of champagne. And in those days, they had like a little bottle of champagne. And this is all up along Broadway in New York City, guys. This was buck wild. They'd sit on our laps, and all of a sudden they go, buy us champagne. How much is the champagne? $20 a glass. All of us would squeeze their tit one last fucking time. Then the bouncer would come and throw us out, and we'd leave there with our faces red. We all had little hard-ons. I don't know if you guys remember the story of when all of us fucking ordered porno movies, and it came with a projector, 7 of us, me, Louis, Michael Special. Sabatino was so young, he started fucking crying when he saw the lady sucking the dick. He's like, what is that? I'm scared. He started crying. We had to walk him downstairs. This is the kind of shit we were doing as kids. We were in the real world, and I was taking all my buddies up to my mother's bar in the afternoon after basketball. Like, if we were hungry or thirsty, I go, fuck it. All of us, let's go to my mother's bar. I would walk into my mother's bar 10 deep. She'd go, Jesus fucking Christ. And we would sit at the bar, and I'd make the bartender give us all a Coke, and we'd put a cherry in it and make believe we were like gangsters. Like, we'd be like, look at us drinking at a fucking bar, because we'd sit at a bar. They would go back and tell everybody, we were sitting up at the fucking bar with men. My friends that wouldn't go to the bar with me would lose their fucking minds. But that all came to an end. And let me tell you what Louis said to me that really fucked me up. He said that what happened to us in the 8th, 9th, 10th grade defined who we are for the rest of our lives. And he's absolutely right. Because one night in May, at the beginning of May, we had already finished the season. Our 8th grade year was so fucking wild. Because as soon as we got into the 8th grade, there was 2 women 8th grade teachers. There was Miss Walsh, who was our teacher, and Miss Verga, who was the other 8th grade teacher. The other savages started throwing spitballs at her and shit, and she just quit. She just quit on the first day of 8th grade. She goes, I'm too old for this. I'm not going to do it with these guys. We already had a reputation. She walked out of the class, and they replaced her with the mayor of Weehawken, and his name was Wally Lindsay. That's a complete different story. We don't have that much time today to go into that one, but that was also a fucking kick in the balls because he had an assistant named Turk Jordan, and we'll get into that some other time. He took us to the Knick game. He showed up with a fucking passed out stripper one day with her tits out, and he's like, fuck her in the 8th grade. We got tons of story about that. He tried to cheer us up. You know, we had the coach that fucking called me a spick, and then I ended up finger banging his sister, and the father caught me. So the word on the street was he was going to kill me. So we were like, fuck it. If he's going to kill me, we're going to kill them. That's how tight we were. We were going to kill the basketball coach. In the 8th grade, stab him and put him on Route 3, because at the time, this is how crazy we were. At the time, and if you live in Jersey or in the New York City area, Brooklyn, Connecticut, you want to go for a day trip, you can check this fucking information out that I'm telling you. McKinley School is on Route 3, all the way up north. If you're headed to New York City and you're on Route 3 and you're headed into the Lincoln Tunnel, you're going to pass McKinley on the left-hand side. It's next to this fucking embroidery thing, and then you have like ShopRite, and then you get lost in Union City, you hit Weehawken, and you make that turn. If you ever watch The Sopranos, when he gets off the toll, the Jersey in the beginning woke up this morning and he swings around. That's Weehawken making a hard fucking left into Union City, which takes you into fucking North Bergen. If you're coming that way from New York City, you'll see McKinley on the right-hand side and the York Motel on the left-hand side. The York Motel is not called the York anymore. Double check it online for me, but I think it's not called the York, but it could be. The York Motel was a dump. They were finding dead hookers in there once a fucking month when we were kids. We would go to the lobby to get potato chips when we were McKinley, and we'd always see disgusting people in there, fucking guys with fucking rashes around their mouth. We would see some nightmare shit in there. It was a rat trap of a hotel. But when we were in the 8th grade, the Iceman, the real Iceman, Richard Kuklinski, I didn't know this. I did not know this in the 8th grade. I found out years later. He cut a guy in half and he put him under a bed. Well, we were in the school when he did it. Like, we saw the ambulances going over there. We weren't allowed over there for 3 days. They had police tape. So in our mind, we were going to kill fucking the gym. We were going to kill the basketball coach, whatever, Georgie Frank. We were going to kill him. We waited for him with the lights off in the gym. We had sticks. We had crowbars. We had a basketball. We had a fucking net to choke him. Oh, yeah, we were going to hit him in the head with a basketball. We were kids. We tried to get all the makeshift weapons we could. And then we were going to fucking drag him out to Route 3 and put him across the street from the York Motel. And they would think it was the same guy who cut the guy in half. We didn't know it was the Iceman at the time. When I saw the interview with the Iceman, I'm like, holy shit, it was you who cut the body in half. We were in the 8th grade. We still fucking remember. But Louis said that what we went through all those years defined who we are and made us fucking stronger. The 3 people who died, the 4 people who died, one of us had nothing to do with us, but she had something to do with me. We had a great 8th grade fucking year. We went to Philly. We went to the Nutcracker Suite. We went to, what's that fucking lady's name who made the flag, Betsy Ross? We went to her house. We went to her house, got thrown out of there. We got thrown out of the Nutcracker Suite because we were shooting the people in the play with paper clips and rubber bands. So they're trying to fucking do the Nutcracker, and they're going, ow, ow, because we're fucking whipping them with the thing. We got thrown out of the movie theater. Then they took us to Hiram's up in Fort Lee, and we got hot dogs and shit and fucking yoo-hoos, and we were singing, 3 cheers for the bus driver, the bus driver, the bus driver. We were busting his balls the whole fucking way. But that all ended. That all ended one night when me, Anthony, Dominic, Louis, we were all playing basketball on 37th Street court. Mrs. Balzano called for Anthony. Said, Anthony, dinner. Anthony turned around and said, Cokes, you coming over? I go, no. My mom's home tonight. I'm going to fucking eat. My mom's cooked something good for me. Louis was there. We all said our goodbyes. Louis went into the woods with the other guys from 26th Street, and they would cut through ShopRite. I went home, and I remember the next day, I went to fucking the 8th grade, and before I walked into the class, Mr. Barone took me aside, and he goes, did you hear what happened last night? I go, no. He goes, Anthony Balzano got in a bad car accident with his brother and Tweds, this kid, Stephen Edwards, that was older than us. He goes, he's in bad shape. He's in critical condition. That destroyed us. That destroyed us. We went to the hospital. We hung out in front of the hospital in solidarity. We went in. And then on May 20-something, They took him off the stuff and he died. We never recovered from that. We played it off. We didn't really. I just kept playing basketball, and I kept going to his house, and I was part of their family now, and we got tighter. And then he passed away, and that was it. You know, we were fucking mortified. You know, we were just blown the fuck away. We were all there. We saw him go into his house. Then we all went to high school. We stayed tight. Me, Louie, Dave Ruiz, Whitey, Chucky, we all played fucking freshman basketball. We dedicated the season to Anthony. We didn't do much. Everybody loved Anthony. That whole team knew Anthony. We were always out and about. It hit hard. Then freshman year, I got a locker with this girl, Roseanne D'Agostino. D'Agostino, Diaz. We had to get lockers with people in our homeroom. And she turned me on to this girl. She goes, she doesn't like who she's sharing a locker with. Do you mind if she shares a locker with you? And I go, no. And somewhere in our freshman year, she went on a date, got in a car with some guy, and they got into a car accident. They both died, you know. But again, it was very weird because I saw that day in my locker, put the books away. At that time, I started feeling a little fucking weird, you know. But in the 8th grade, something else had happened. I started dating this girl named Colleen in Union City. She was one of my cheerleaders at St. Michael's. And I'll never forget, I went to a house to swap spit, whatever, dry hump. I had no sexual intentions. She was a cute little redhead with freckles, Irish chick. I loved her to death. I'll never forget sitting on a couch and going, what time's your dad get home? And she's like, 5 o'clock. And I'm like, what time's your mom get home? She goes, my mom's not alive. My mom is dead. And I was like, fuck this. I freaked the fuck out. I had never heard of anybody's mother dying. I had never heard that before. I was 13 years old. I never heard that your mother could die. I thought mothers were invincible. And I remember that I went home and I go, I'm not talking to that kiss of death no more. Fucking what did you do that your fucking mother died when you were like 5? And fucking maybe a year later, I did a hit of acid. You know, before I fucking left, my mother called. We spoke like nothing happened. We spoke. She says, I don't feel good. I'm coming home early. You know, I'll leave you something to eat. I got home. She wasn't home. I woke up in the middle of the night. She was fucking dead. I had spoken to her that afternoon. And then a year fucking later, you know, after my mom's dying, I'm not even fucking aware that my mom is dead yet. I haven't even processed it. And I'm walking up Givenad Terrace to go get clothes at my house. And I see Dominic Speciale run out of his house. And I go, Dominic, where you going? He goes, I'm going to the fucking, I forget what you call it now, the quarry. There's a quarry in northern New Jersey where they all go. And he goes, do you want to go? I don't even know if he asked me that. I don't want to say that. I just remember him going, I'm going to the quarry. And me going, all right, see you tonight. And that night somebody knocked on my door and said Dominic had drowned at the quarry. But all 4 instances that I just told you, I saw those people and I spoke to them and I got to see them a few hours before their tragedy ensued, you know. And it was fucking surreal. I don't think I ever recovered. And it did define who the fuck I am. Because now when I see people before they leave, I always tell them I love them. So I'm covered. I'm covered. If anything happens, I did my piece. I always, when I leave with people, I always say I love you. These are the things I picked up over the years, the strength you pick up. I'll never forget, somebody came up to me, a dear friend of mine. He goes, hey man, you know, it's weird. Every time I talk to Ralphie, I talk to him like it's the last time I'm going to see him. And he's a good friend of mine. I remember I got mad at him for a few days for saying that. And then I go, you know what? What the fuck am I talking about? It's the truth. He's right. This could happen at any fucking time. So that's why when you see people and you're having a good time with them, when you're going to go leave them, don't take that goodbye for granted. Always look at them one last time and go, Jesus Christ, I love you. And that's it. So if you do get that call, you don't feel bad. You know, I don't know if I did that with Anthony. I don't know if I did that with my mother. I don't know if I did that with Dominic, you know. I don't know if I said those things. But I know now I do, and it's because of that time that we spent together when we were young. We're planning to have a little get-together. I might just call Louis this week and take a ride up to Rutherford. My teacher is in town, Mr. T, the guy who fucking took me in '85 and got me off the drugs and took me to AA meetings and helped me get to where I am today. I'm going to go visit him this week. He's staying somewhere down the shore, and I'm going to go talk to him because, again, he's got to be close to his 80s, and I want to make sure I cover my spread with this guy if something happens. He lives in Sarasota, Florida. So that's why the other night when Lisa called me and said that that girl that I had been friends with, her father, died, I knew how to handle it. Yes, I was a little upset, and yes, I said a prayer. But I think that what happened to me as a child got me ready for Ralphie. You know, fucking Brody, I couldn't be ready for. Because Brody, I got the call on a fucking plane when I was headed to Las Vegas to get on stage. What do? You cancel the show? There's no fucking canceling the show. You got to dig deep and be fucking strong, and that's what I did. But all those strengths came from what I went through in that downtown area in McKinley School, and I'm grateful to them. And that's why I think that these are the guys right now that I'm getting. I'm fucking mixing with the best because our relationship was so strong in 1977, 78, 79, and 80 that it can't be taken. It's like whenever I talk to these guys on the phone, we go right back to where the fuck we were. It's like nothing has been, no years have gone by. It's like we were in the 8th grade yesterday. So it's been the weirdest thing. Louis is a social worker. He's got a degree in psychiatry. We spoke for a little while, and I got to be honest with you, I felt a lot better since I've spoken to him on Thursday. My anxiety has disappeared a lot lower. It was like I don't know, I touched God's hand or something by talking to him. It took me back that much, you know. Right now, this year, the last 2 years have been rough on us as Americans, as human beings, as people, you know, with our friends, our family. We've all fucking gone through death or whatever, a friend, you know, like I said to you, I would love to sit here and tell you, I love so many people in the pandemic. I don't know. This is the first girl I remember that I know, and, well, Tina Petrillo, the girl that used to shove bottles in her pussy when we were kids at the strip club. She died from COVID last year. My heart goes out to her family. But I never really knew anybody that passed from COVID or whatever. A lot of people are passing, and a lot of people are going through grief right now. I just want to let you know that we've all gone through grief in one way or another. You will survive, and you will come out at the other end of this. But the most important thing is there's a silver lining to all this. So if somebody close to you and your family has passed from COVID or whatever, I know that right now you want to reach through that fucking video and smack me in the face and go, Joey, my mother died from COVID. How is there a silver lining to this? Well, listen, you're not going to see it today. You're going to see it sometime in the next couple of years. How do I know? Because there's a silver lining to everything. My mom passed. All my friends passed. I have all their pictures up around my desk. Dominic, Anthony, my mother, and any other ones of my soldiers that have gone, Rago, and I look at them every day for strength. That's what pushes me through every day. When I wake up in the morning and I sit there and I go, I have anxiety like a fag. I got to deal with this. I got fucking, my gums are swollen. I look up and I see a picture of Rago, or I see a picture of Dominic, or I see a picture of Anthony Balzano, and I go, what the fuck am I complaining about? It puts everything else into perspective. So there's a silver lining to all this. I know, like I said, I know you're looking at me going, Joey, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm telling you right now, there's a silver lining. Even the COVID As bad as it's been, there's been a silver lining. I got the best message in the world on Patreon on Saturday. Some guy signed up, and I went to throw him a welcome fucking email, and he had already written me a fucking huge email saying that he didn't like me before the pandemic, and that one day he listened to me, that I stayed on after Rogan or something. Our podcast went up and I said something, and he goes, ever since that day he started listening to me, and that he had a Airbnb, he had 14 properties, and that all dried up and all this shit bad happened, but he learned how to do something else during the pandemic, and now he's blossoming again, the whole thing. So I know there's always a silver lining. That's why when I got the call the other day about Tommy's daughter, I thought about why I was so prepared for that call, because what I went through as a child prepared me for the rest of my life to deal with what I have to deal with. If you could deal with that at 16, if you could deal with 3 deaths, including one being your mom, the rest of this shit is background motherfucking music. And that's the fucking joint for Monday, August the 9th. I hope that this podcast gives you a little light. It gives you a little hope in your life. And it lets you know that you're going to be fucking fine. I want to thank BetterHelp.com. I want to thank DraftKings for sponsoring this podcast today. And I want to let you know it's all going to work out no matter what's going on. Whether you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, it's all going to fucking work out. Just believe in yourself. Get healthy. Take your vitamins. Get vitamin D. Drink water. Smoke reefer, get your dick sucked, and stay mentally on top of this fucking game, okay? Things might get bad, they might get worse, they might get good. All I want you is for you to be mentally prepared and fucking solid. So we're good. August 9th is done. This is my message for the day. I'll see you motherfuckers Wednesday, the 11th. Tip-top Magoo, ready to fucking go. And now for a word from my motherfucking sponsors. Love you. Thank you, bad motherfuckers, for watching the joint today. I know I took you into a little deep water, but I wanted to get that off my chest. It's been on my mind for a while. The joint is brought to you by BetterHelp. We told you in the beginning and the middle of the show, BetterHelp is therapy for the 21st century. BetterHelp is professional therapy, and it's all online, and guess what? It works. BetterHelp is 100% remote and available worldwide. You don't have to live in a big city to get quality therapy no more. BetterHelp has a special offer for all Uncle Joey's Joint listeners. Visit BetterHelp.com/Diaz for 10% off your first month. BetterHelp, BETTER help, HELP.com/Diaz. I'm going to get you 10% off your first month. It's already affordable and expensive. You're going to love BetterHelp. Thank you for visiting, and thank you for taking the recommendation. The joint is also brought to you by DraftKings. Listen, in about 2 weeks, everybody's favorite time of the year is going to be here. What is that, Joey? Football season, college and pro. But we're going to start with college first. DraftKings Sportsbook is America's top-rated sportsbook app, and we're here to celebrate. Sorry about that. An old pubic hair got caught on a fucking tonsil, you know what I'm saying? DraftKings is putting new players on the first-yard line with $200 in free bets instantly. Just bet $1 on any college football game. Did you hear me? $1 on any college football game, and they're going to give you $200 in free bets instantly, whether you win or lose. Who's better than DraftKings? Nobody. Head to DraftKings Sportsbook app right now to check out all the great promotions. Daily odd boost. Saturday, they had an odd boost for the UFC. Fucking tremendous. DraftKings Sportsbook is safe, secure, reliable, and they're based right here in the US of A. USA! Withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today Use promo code Joey, so you have it all ready for college football. Bet the first college football game for $1, and you're going to get $200 in free bets. That's promo code Joey to get you $200 in free bets instantly for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers only. You got to be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, you got a gambling problem? We got to take care of that. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you're straight, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and win some motherfucking Gitas. And remember, you can't bet over your head with DraftKings. You got to have money in there. So it's not like betting with a fucking bookie and shit. This is all done from the privacy of your own home. Nobody knows nothing. Again, DraftKings.com. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code Joey to receive $200 in free bets when you place $1 on any college football game. I want to thank DraftKings. I want to thank BetterHelp.com/Diaz. And I want to thank Ice Cream Shop Dispensary in Studio City for carrying laughing gas and other reefers that'll blow your fucking mind. I'll see you cocksuckers Wednesday. Tip-top Magoo, ready to fucking go, ready to stab somebody. I love you, motherfuckers. Have a great Monday, have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you Wednesday.